Hey, welcome back. Today I want to talk about a really touchy subject for some people, but it's really pertinent because it's so funny. This week I got an email from a wonderful lady named Elizabeth, and I offered to help her with her space if she sent me pictures. Maybe I could come up with some ideas, storage ideas or something like that. She sent me a lot of pictures of her spot, of her home, and it was so organized. Like, she had everything in baskets and bins and labeled, and there was nothing I could say, but it was an obvious issue with her home that it was stuffed. It was stuffed to the brim. There was not a spot anywhere, even like an inch of wall space. Everything was utilized, and it was overwhelming for her. That's a lot to take care of. That's a lot to clean up. That's a lot to try to deal with and manage on a daily basis when you're literally surrounded by your belongings. I mean, there was displays and collections, and even in her daughter's rooms, you could tell that they take pride in their things and everything was displayed. But if you really looked on the shelves, you'll see McDonald's toys were displayed nicely. You know what I mean? So the only thing I could say in that case is, unfortunately, you have to purge. And this is, I find, 90% of people's problems when it comes to organizing their home. It's not that they're not organized. It's not that even they don't have enough space. The truth is, they just don't want to let go of things. And Elizabeth's reason is the same as my friend. My friend called me yesterday, which is why I'm blogging about this, and she said she was going through and just the guilt she feels getting rid of things. There's lots of reasons. You feel like you're throwing away money when you get rid of something. She looked at the bottom of something and it said $45 that she got a little knick-knack when her daughter was baptized. She's like, I can't get rid of that. It's like throwing out $45. But it's not, because that money's already been spent. That person gave you that gift. They already spent the money. They're not going to get the money back, and by holding on to it, you're not $45 richer. If it's sitting in your closet, you don't love it, you don't use it, it's taking away from you. It's not giving to you. And that's a really hard thing to get over, because you feel guilty when you donate or get rid of a gift that someone gave you, especially if they spent a lot of money. But you can't keep everything. Even if something has sentimental value, it's not fair to you to have to hold on to it if you don't love it and want it. If you're holding on to it out of guilt, it's not fair to you. It's just, you're doing something for somebody else, and the odds are they probably don't know, care, have any idea of what's going on in your home anyway. So why are you beating yourself up over it? And I'm gonna give you an example. The red sweaters. Do you remember this? I was purging because our storage room is full. I've got 2 totes full of things I'm keeping for my kids, and baby blankets, the first outfit they went home in, their baptism outfits, blankets that their grandma made, and then there was these 2 matching red Christmas sweaters. Yes, Joey's grandma knitted them, but I have so many other things she knitted that I'm holding on to. Why am I holding on to these? So I purged them on camera. I purged them for you guys. I was like, I'm getting rid of them. That's it. We don't love them. We don't use them. They're just taking up space. I'm holding on to them out of guilt, and I purged them in the donation pile. And I got so many people who emailed me and were like, that's terrible. You're evil. She took time in that. You should hold on to them. That's her time. You need to hold on to those things. And I felt really bad. I picked them out of the donation pile, and I've literally been holding on to them ever since, and they're in my girl's closet. And I look at them and I think guilt. I think, I don't want these. And I'm gonna pass these on to my daughters, and I'm gonna give them that guilt of having to hold on to this and all the other little knickknacks. Joe's mom gave me piles of baby clothes that he had when he was little, and blankets, like totes full, and I appreciate it, but I feel obligated to hold on to that, and I'm gonna pass that on to my kids, and they're gonna feel obligated to hold on to it, and it's just a vicious cycle of passing the guilt. And it's the same with Christmas gifts. Somebody gets you something and you know they spend money, but if it's sitting in your closet, are you really are you really even appreciating that gift, or are you holding on to it out of guilt? And by holding on to it, I know it just seems like a sweater, okay? It's like, oh, well, what's the big deal? It's one sweater, but it's not. It's the principle of the thing. Yes, it's one sweater, and then it's one cherub angel, and it's one Royal Dalton doll, and it's one China collection, and it's one, baby blanket. And all of these things add up to a house crammed full of guilt. Crammed full of, it's not memories, it's junk that has a memory tied to it. But by getting rid of those things, you're not getting rid of the memory. You're just freeing up your home to be yours, to be a place that you love, to be a sanctuary for you. By getting rid of things, like surrounding yourself by things you don't love because you feel like they're expensive, or somebody gave them to you, or you feel like you're going to be a loss getting rid of them, is so silly, because it's empowering. You're going to feel better having a home that's you and a reflection of you and how you feel. And if you're home, you come home and you're stressed and you're like, oh, I hate this place. I wish I could change this, and I wish I had a bigger spot, and I wish I had more storage, and I wish my house didn't look like this. All you have to do is let go. And it was really, really hard for me to let go. And then I was doing really well, and then the red sweaters came along. And I find I'm back to square one, holding on to things out of guilt. So you know what? Hate me as you will, these red sweaters are going today. And Grandma Armstrong, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. It was sweet of you, and I love them, but they don't fit the girls, and I cannot hold on to everything. And I won't, because it's not fair to hold on to everything. I held on to blankets and other things that are wonderful, but nobody's house is ever going to be big enough. My kids are going to get married one day. They're going to graduate high school. Then they're going to get married. They're going to have kids of their own. There's going to be treasures for the next 60 years that I'm going to want to hold on to. And I can't just keep buying a bigger house. So I need to make those hard decisions every day and keep what's pertinent and important right now in my life and leave room for the future stuff. So if you're having this issue, I really recommend just letting go. And I'm going to feel guilty putting those in a donation bin. But I know that that's what's best for me and my family, and I know that I'm making room for future things that I'm going to love. Not just holding on to because I feel like I have to. Now I'm going to have space to hold on to something because I want to. So that's my blabber. I know it's long, and it's just a rant, and I don't have tips for you. It's really something that upsets me. Especially, when people are cleaning out their space, and like my grandma, she's like, oh, and do you want these? And I've collected them over the years. She's getting rid of them. She wants me to have them, to keep them and treasure them. But I don't collect cherished teddies. And I know you do, and you love them. But for me to hold on to those and display those out of guilt, there's other ways I can honor her memory and love her without having to hold her stuff indefinitely. Do you know what I'm saying? You probably think I'm evil. Anyways, hopefully it inspires some of you to clear out the guilty stuff too. Take a picture of it, put it in an album, write down the memory that comes with that thing, start a journal. All of those things are just as important as the junk that you're holding on to. Anyways, we'll see you next time.